Hello, and welcome to Scarlet Serpent Readings. Welcome to this pick a card, very special pick a card we have today from the Dragon Realm. So this is all going to be all about which dragon energy is near you and just messages from the Dragon Realm. And I'll elaborate on that if I feel called to do so, depending on the pile you choose. So we have pile 1 here, pile 2, and then pile 3. Again, that's pile 1, 2, and then 3. So if you need more time, you can go ahead and pause the video now. Take your time choosing a pile intuitively. Otherwise, we're going to jump right into the reading. I'll see you at your deck, your pile. Hi, pile 1, if you chose the amethyst stone. We're going to go right into the reading, but first I'm going to just put this one back in the deck because I just want to. I feel like dragon energy is all about like fresh moving energy, and I don't want to leave the cards sitting for too long. Maybe this pile has one more. More than one dragon, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So probably a balancing of energies here. And kind of like intuitive illumination, but we'll see. Rose Pink Dragon prepares your heart to connect with higher facets of the cosmic heart. Open your heart to warm-hearted. There's a lot of heart in this card. Diamond light connects to the love of the universe. So really opening and blossoming of the heart chakra is what this dragon's all about. I know that in this deck there's also a Kuan Yin dragon specifically, so I was gonna say that this is similar to that, but it's not exactly that dragon. But it's all about opening up. There's almost like a fairy energy as well, so and if you resonate with angels, I feel like this is more of, this might be, no, it's like either Archangel Haniel or Archangel Shamuel. It might be both, it might be just one, but it's really about opening the heart. And I feel as though you might actually physically feel like a pressure in the heart center. And then we have the Silver Lunar Dragon, which bathes you in divine feminine light. Come into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. So being really in a receptive mode. You have the moon there, so you might resonate with just following the cycles of the moon, but also the wisdom of nighttime, you know. During the day, it's like being loving and just accepting what happens and just seeing the world through eyes of, it's like rose-colored glasses. I mean, you can't always do that, but sometimes it's nice to put them on and kind of see beyond the apparent darkness of the world, like the apparent bad in people, and it's like looking beyond the ugly to see beauty. It's kind of like the beauty way, if you will. Yeah, the beauty way, which is like just seeing, like, even in mud, there's something there, there's life there, and it's something to be cherished, and it's not there by accident. And then with the Silver Lunar Dragon, we know this amethyst. You might not be able to see here, but there's hints of this exact same color, violet, like a deep purple, indicating just a sense of wisdom in the crown chakra and connecting, as it says, to your causal chakra, but connecting to higher realms. And I feel as though you might be more receptive at night, so it might be a good time to just sit in silence and allow these energies to come in. So let's see what messages, what's going on? What messages are coming through from these beings? I'll do 2 for the rose pink, and then I'll do 2 for the silver lunar dragon. Okay. Okay. I will take it. So from the rose pink dragon, it's all about collaboration and weighing the options. Well, noticing I had mentioned balance here, and that's coming through. Kind of balancing between practicality and spirituality, also like physical and non-physical, ethereal and mundane, that kind of balance here. We see cooperation, so that's really what this pink rose dragon's about. Is I believe this is Capricorn energy, but I don't remember. Whoops. Being focused and diligent in what your dreams are with the sun. We'll notice that this dragon is facing to the left, and these figures, I was gonna say cows, I'm not sure, I think so, or bulls, are facing to the left. So it's kind of like keeping on track with an intention you had set previously. While on the right side, and we'll notice, just look at the parallels between how these are looking to the right. So, you know what? I'm just going to leave it like that, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Daytime, nighttime. And I don't know if you could see. Oh, this light is very bright. But you notice how the 2 figures are both facing to the right. So there's this yin and yang energy going on of being receptive and weighing different options. And part of this energy, like of Scorpio, if it's unbalanced, it's really trying to know every little detail, at least within this card, and it could almost slow down the options. Whereas the treasure could be in just knowing that each option has something beneficial for you, and that makes it more exciting and more fun. Like, I feel as though if you were to enjoy the unknown, this process of choosing different options could be a bit easier. And also, again, when you're in silence and in this mode of receptivity, you allow insight on the choices that you have to come in. And that's not to say like it'll be, oh, this is definitely 100% the right answer. It's more of an ease that comes with choosing different things. Whereas this is all about collaboration, kind of acknowledging the different things people have to offer, acknowledging the different, how do we say, strengths and weaknesses. There's just a strong sense of collaboration and loving different aspects of people so that you can get the most out of, different relationships, from different perspectives. Let's see more about this. Oh. I'm not going to be taking all of this. There's not enough going on there. Okay. And then for these two. So we'll start on this side. have the Seven of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles, or Four of Pentacles. So lots of pentacles going on here. You might be an earth sign. You might just be dedicated and focused on work and accomplishing things. This is not a coincidence. I don't know if you could see this, but all of these figures are facing to the right. So there's this very strong sense of forward movement here. And again, with the overall energy here, that being receptive is what's going to bring you forward with ease. We have the Queen of Cups, again, with the moon there in the background, signifying just kind of a strength when it comes to noticing different cycles, when to move and when not to move. We also notice, again, Capricorn coming through. But this time, it's so interesting, even though this is Pentacles again, these two Pentacles are moving this way. So I'm getting a sense of knowing when to spend money and when to let it grow, when to invest. This is more about time, like physically what you do with your time. Because it could also be just an indication of being a little bit too worried about money and being too tight, but also, depending on who's viewing, how you resonate, maybe clinging too tightly to money or needing to cling tightly to money in order to save, in order to make this tree here grow. Yeah, it's interesting that we have, again, the riches, the treasure chest here, and so a lot of this receptivity has to do with gaining insight on the nature of money and how you spend it and how you could become like this queen of just, it's almost a background thing, but right now it feels as though it might be in the forefront of any kind of issues. And what I mean by that is lifestyle, like how do you want to live your life? Is it free, not worrying about money, or is money kind of a central focus? And I don't know, it just feels as though there's a lot of options as to how to make money grow, and it's not necessarily all about practicality. Like there's some risk taking involved. Like there's a time to plant seeds and save, but there's also an indication of like stepping into the ethereal realms of spirituality and allowing them to kind of guide you intuitively towards a direction that might not seem obvious, as far as, you know, creating abundance, because you could be spiritual and still enjoy, you know, the finer things in life, the money, not money in itself, the freedom that comes with money, the freedom to express yourself, to go anywhere you want. They're all moving, and we notice that this dragon has the coins as well. We have the Page of Wands, and then the Two of Wands. So fire under this pink rose dragon. It's crazy how we have this polarity here. I don't know if you could see it, but we have the moon, a full moon, and then a crescent moon, and then the exact same thing right here. And so that's definitely a theme with this pile, is cycles, the moon, and excuse me, going through phases of having a good idea, being very clear of what you want, and then having no idea, like you completely forget or lose track of it. And that's part of the cycle. I think if you could step into that, things will be a little bit more clear as to like, oh, I'm not really sure which way to go, and that's okay now, actually. Like this, the Queen of Cups kind of, this is more of a time to be intuitive and just go with what feels right instead of being practical. There's a lot of sun as well in this particular side at the daytime with the Page of Wands. Again, looking to the left. Here we have one cat looking to the right, but most of the figures are looking to the left here, which is not, you know, an accident. It might be an indication of certain patterns that you've been going through during the day, and kind of recognizing what's been serving you and what hasn't. When you've been acting passionately, how things turn out, and then when you're a bit more hesitant, how those things turn out. I think reflecting upon that is helpful, and that's what I'm getting from the Rose Pink Dragon. And looking back with love, like, if you've messed up in the past regarding your decisions, because there's this sense of decision making, where to put money, where to go, how to view life, but to go through your past actions with an open heart, like you were just trying to do the best you could given the circumstances. And that's what everyone's doing. I mean, even if they hurt people, they're just, I feel that most people are unaware of the pain they cause to others sometimes. But again, navigating through options with passion, and again, using the cycles of the moon and noticing not just the moon, but within yourself, like when you feel more clear throughout the day, or just within a month, noticing, and it doesn't have to be very obvious. And what I mean by that is like on this day, on every Wednesday, my mind is clear-headed or whatever, and then every Saturday afternoon I get foggy. I mean, it might not be that clear-cut and obvious, but it'll be like, every so often when I'm cloudy, how can I best navigate through this fog within myself? Or if I'm feeling down, what's the best thing that I could do when I feel this way? And then when I have more energy, what's the best, most productive thing that I could do when I'm in that zone? And then kind of navigating. And that's all about being receptive. It's being receptive to, your own flows. Like, not trying to fight. It's like, why am I so clouded? Or why am I so angry? Just accepting it and noticing it and being an observer to that. And I think part of this cooperation card is kind of seeing that in other people as well and being a little more forgiving. And I think once you kind of navigate through yourself, you could easily identify those cycles in other people, and then you could learn to work with them. Because I also feel like, I don't know, there's figures that are working together and then facing different directions. So there's kind of this yin and yang too, of where sometimes you get along with people and can collaborate, especially in the working environment. And then other times where you're just like, my way is obviously the best, I don't know what you're talking about, and they're thinking the same thing, and if you could meet halfway, then you could all be more productive. That's only for those of you who feel like that in the work environment, and that could also apply to relationships as well. Being more open-hearted and knowing that your partner's perspective is valid. You might not agree with it, but it's a perspective, and it comes from somewhere, and it comes from their experience. And then kind of the High Priestess, or excuse me, Queen of Cups, not High Priestess, but which feels like your energy. You go between these two. Page of Wands, moving forward, like new ideas, kind of hoping that other people have the same energy as you do, but it doesn't always happen. And then we have the Queen of Cups, like during other parts of the day, probably at night. There's a lot of night energy here, and being more receptive and contemplating and figuring out options whenever all the noise is, it's a bit more quiet. So these dragons are helping you notice these patterns and put you in a space of love and receptivity to not only these people and situations, but to yourself. So let's get some oracle. I was gonna use another deck, but I feel like I got clarification enough as it is, so I'm just gonna go with that. Let's see if there's just any more messages. Okay. And then we have intuition, knowing. I'm not surprised, because considering the moon, so there's and I chose more cards on this side, so I feel like you're a little stronger with the moon energy. And then we have, this parallel here, so there's like that illumination at night that happens. So it's also a sense of how could you apply this to the day. The truths that you open yourself up to at night, the nature of options, the nature of being receptive, kind of that spiritual guidance that you receive through cycles, really, through stepping into your own power. How could you apply that to kind of day-to-day mundane living? I think once that happens, there's going to be an ease of abundance coming towards you that, yeah, it'll feel easy because you don't have to really exert as much effort into obtaining that. By that I mean you don't need to put in 40 hours a week. Work smarter, not harder. And this, again, 31, intuition, knowing, is all about being smart. We have the 4 here, we have the 3 there. I'm trying to look for patterns and numbers, but there's not much going on. But yeah, trust your intuition. Trust that gut moving you, because you're very intuitive. And sometimes you forget, and that's totally okay, because again, with the moon cycles, it comes and goes. That knowing does the same thing, really. And once you step into those rhythms, those patterns, and knowing, again, I did mention this already, but knowing how to adapt to those patterns within yourself, the yin and yang, this practical and spiritual lifestyle, once you could balance those out, it just feels like there's going to be a nice flow to you. So I hope this reading was helpful. If you enjoyed it, you could go ahead and give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I do personal readings as well. You can find the information for that in the description. And again, thank you for your time, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this beautiful carnelian stone, we're going to jump right into your reading. But first, I'm going to go ahead and put this card back into the deck. I didn't look at it, and I feel as though dragon energy should be fresh. So let's see. Okay. Again with 2 dragons, which is interesting. I was only intending on doing 1, but the last pile also had 2, so. And this is a very, this dragon is really close to you. And this is the dusty pink dragon from Andromeda. Prepares all your chakras to embody higher love, accept and radiate higher love, touch others with its flame. So we're noticing a similar theme. If you were drawn slightly to Pyro 1, you might want to watch that as well. But yeah, kind of stepping into the heart chakra, into higher perspective. We'll notice that there's music here, which is interesting. Here I get more of Archangel Haniel vibes. So it's kind of like connecting to the, I don't know, higher chakras. I don't want to say causal, because that was the last group. But anyway, it's escaping me. But we also notice the 3rd eye is open from this dragon. There we go. Holding a cricket. We also notice the color schemes are present as well. A very similar imagery to one of the last cards. So again, I get a celestial vibe to you. You look to the stars, you're feel as though people in this group are into, I don't want to say aliens, but star seeds, that sort of thing. If not, you could politely ignore that I said that. But yeah, I feel as though your mind at times wanders about those things, has a higher perspective of just our place in the universe. And even in day-to-day living, like at one point throughout the day, you might be like, well, it would be like watching ants on a tree. You know, you kind of zoom in and then you zoom out. You don't even see the ants anymore. There's just a tree. And day-to-day life can be like that. Or if you zoom out far enough, you'll notice that you don't even see the people, and you don't even notice your own problems. That they are, in the scale of the planet, you know, fairly insignificant. But they are significant as well. So there's kind of that balance of navigating what's really important and then kind of letting go of that and be like, well, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't that big of a deal. And I think that perspective kind of opens your heart up to like, once you pick up that perspective and you realize just how big everything and vast everything is and how connected we all are, just, I mean, not only as a collective, you know, human race, but as a planet. Like, it's absurd that, you know, just even in the scale of the galaxy, just how, if we realize how spaced out everything is, and we get that sense of unity, I don't know, it'll open up your heart if you haven't thought of that. And I feel like this dragon's kind of putting those ideas into your mind slowly, to open your heart up to the connectedness of everyone on this planet, every living being on this planet. And then we have the gold and silver violet flame dragon. Transmutes the old energy with wisdom and grace. It's time for transmutation, magic, and healing. Offer the service of grace. And then we have a butterfly here. So you might be in a situation that could be a bit tough right now, or you might be overcoming it slowly. And you have not only this gold and silver violet flame dragon, but Archangel Zadkiel and, you know, Saint Germain and those beings of the violet flame kind of assisting you transmute those energies. And it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy. It takes like a deliberate alignment of mindset and heart, to realize again the unity and beauty of all things. Interesting parallel we see with these two cards, and I'll show you if this light isn't so. Okay. We'll notice these two dragons are both holding insects. We'll notice that the two dragons are facing each other, and the two dragons have a third eye chakra. We'll also notice that the dragon's tails, one is up and one is down, so these feel connected. These two feel very balanced, and that is a perspective of holding, knowing from up here what the bug can become, and then here it's like being grounded and watching that unfold. We'll notice that these two cards are purple as well, so it's kind of like transformation, very strong transformation energies. And these feel like, I don't know, I didn't read the cards or read the deck book, but it feels like 10th dimensional if you're just interested in that sort of thing. But yeah, it's all about noticing perspective, and noticing the potential of things, including yourself. Let's see what additional information we can grab from this. So just one card for each of these, yeah. The moon. Yeah, in case you were guided to pile 1 or weren't sure, again, you might want to look at that video. We have the 9 of Swords here. Very violent imagery. As I say that, I show it to you. I'm horrible sometimes, but you'll notice 2 of the crows get stabbed 3 times, and then the 3rd one dodges it. I'll get clarification on that later, but it's a mental game right now. You're being overwhelmed with thought, and then you'll notice that there's this part of you that's dodging everything, and it's like your higher self. I feel like this perspective here will bring about clarity, and that's why this dragon energy is here, to give light. And there's a lot of darkness, by the way, in this reading, which is great because it's almost like you could see more clearly in the dark. Or maybe that's just me, I don't know, but you could see the stars at night. What I'm getting is a sense of being completely overwhelmed, and the moon is red, and then we have the moon here, so it feels as though most of this transmutation is like the darker aspects of you are coming out, and then we'll notice that this dragon, yay, more dragons! It's like, it ties to the reading, the whole theme, I love it. So we have the dragon here. We also have other spirits there, but it's kind of like facing the dark side of yourself. This might be, it's a bit cliche saying the dark night of the soul sort of thing going on, but it's really just aspects of yourself that you've been kind of putting down and saying, you know, I don't like this part of me, or just almost being unaware of that side of you, and it's coming out, like everything that has been deemed bad. That's what's going on right now, and that's what this silver, violet, oh my god, there's so many colors, silver, gold, violet, flame, dragon, is helping you transmute these things. And I feel as though these 2 energies combined, one is about, you know, these thoughts come in of this is bad, this version of me is bad, but there's a higher perspective, and that's why like this dragon reading is just energies from a different perspective. So like angelic realm, even extraterrestrials, like they just have a different perspective of what's going on here, and kind of like you could, and I had mentioned it, like seeing ants. Can you imagine a first-person view of an ant? Just think about it, and then think about the perspective that we get. It's almost a complete different dimension, you know? Like, if you imagine being at the beach and then like just watching the water come in, and then being in an airplane, it doesn't look the same at all. It looks kind of like toys, a bunch of toys, and I think that's what's going on here, is that you're getting guidance to see this darker part of you, all of this mind stuff. I just saw 1111, so that's, for me, confirmation. But all this mental noise that you're getting, and seeing that there is beauty in it, and you just can't see it from where you're at right now, but it has the potential to become something amazing, and even the darkest aspects of you have something to offer. Everything has a purpose, and it's not just there to make your life miserable, and you're getting help with that. Let's get some additional insights. Let's start with this, and then do this. I'm doing them separately, but kind of reading them together. That is the Emperor. No, it's the Hierophant. And I think that mantra means something, but I don't know. It could be about energy, but I don't know. That's all I'm getting for that. So I'll just put this down for now. Let's see, I don't know if I'm going to take all these. This one for sure. Yeah, I'm not crazy about them. no, I don't always even these out. And then the last reading too is, there was more cards on this side, and now it's opposite. Anyway, this is all about higher perspective, again, with the Hierophant, trusting in the process, really, of transmutation, and this moon phase that's coming on. I keep referring to the last pile, because there's, I mean, they're not the same, but there's similar themes, and there's just kind of variance within them, but here it's like, trusting in the ability for something ugly to become, or have beauty within it. And trusting the process and having patience, because this apple it didn't just appear as an apple, it had to grow. It was a seed, and it, you know, becomes an apple over time. And I think that whole process of becoming, not only a butterfly, something beautiful, but trusting that process is a very slow process of transformation, and knowing that that process is being overseen by, if you don't, you know, I'm not going to assume or put any beliefs upon anyone. That's not my place, and everyone has their own truth. But it's about, like, at least the universe knows what it's doing, that sort of thing. Like, the tides, the sun comes up, the moon has its phase, like, it's orchestrated in a way, and it's perfect. And so whatever you're going through here is part of that within you. We have the King of Wands. I'm dreading having to read that in reverse. And then the Moon. I don't usually do reversals, that's why, but here we are. I think with this King of Wands being reversed, it's, especially here because he's seated, there's a lack of patience in this process, like, especially being the King of Wands. Like, you want to move and move on with it, and this probably feels like an eternity. Shout out to any Aries, because I feel you. And then we have the Moon again. So again, this is really shadowy, really kind of maybe getting a perspective that isn't accurate as to, like, your shadow self or whatever. Double moon, wow. And considering the amount of moons I saw in the last reading, it's kind of crazy. But this is also a time of stepping into intuition, and it's like knowing without knowing, that sort of energy. But right now, it's interesting because this deck has a shadow card. Oh, that's not it. Well, it's here now, so it's officially part of the reading now that I flipped it over. So this is your way out, really. This is the best option for you, considering all of what's going on here. Just being within yourself, like, just acknowledging there's changes going on within you, and being gentle with yourself. Being very gentle with yourself, like a mother in labor, or, you know, a child who's just learning something brand new, just being very patient, eat well, take time to yourself, because there's just a lot of background stuff happening within you, which might seem, I mean, it's overwhelming. I feel a great sense of being overwhelmed, and at the same time, there's so much potential for great blossoming and great change. Patience is definitely required, and stepping away from all this mental thoughts, because again, this perspective, looking, I mean, even here with this moon card, this dragon is looking down. There's a lot going on down there with the water's turning into little wolves, or yeah, something like that, and it's just on its perch, and it's not fighting them, it's just looking. This dragon is really powerful, and you could step into that energy of, like, not having to fight all these things that are coming up that could hurt you. I mean, if you allow yourself to be in that position of vulnerability. But if you're high enough, oh my god, that's not what I meant. if you have a perspective that is far, well, yeah, yeah, just a different perspective, a perspective that goes beyond, you know, daily or just what you're feeling. I feel as especially with this dusty, I don't know why it's dusty, pink dragon from Andromeda. I'm stepping into love. That, you know, you're going through something heavy. It feels like there's a lot going on. Take the time to meditate, and take the time during meditation to just try and change your perspective. Again, I had mentioned the visual cues. Yeah, that stuff earlier with the ants and the plane, and just kind of practice with that. How you could apply that, changing your view on what's going on within you, and having faith. Faith is really important here. That this is all gonna bring forth a better you. But it's also a natural process. There isn't much need to exert effort, which might be something you're trying to do. Is like, what do I need to do? What meditation, what crystal is going to help me get over this? And there really isn't one. It's just time and perspective. And when the time is right, I think, and you vibrate to a certain frequency that allows you to unveil all of what's going on, things will make sense. You might want to be active, you might want to know exactly what to do, but now seize the moment. This feels very similar to this card, doesn't it? To this moon? Like, very, very similar. These are decks that are completely different. It's completely different publishers, artists, creators. Isn't that stunning how similar these are? Like, that's crazy. 37 now. I just want you to look at this. I mean, just look at this back and forth. What things are unveiling, what it's like night and day. This is incredible. I can't get over it. It says now, seize the moment. That's really your way to peace during this time. Is just be and accept, even if it's a maze within your thought processes. Like, why does this feel heavy? Why am I so angry all of a sudden for no reason? Like, what's going on? Just accept that that's how you feel now. Accept what's happening. And that's part of this Emperor. I keep saying Emperor. Maybe that's what you're trying to be. Like, you're trying to take this on as Emperor, like being in control. And this whole process is about you not being in control, and just being an observer to the things that are coming up. Because yeah, there's a lot of potential for beauty to arise if you're patient and present and allowing, really in the state of allowing. But there's a lot of potential here, and you have help. I mean, you have plenty of help. You can always call upon whoever you feel the need to assist you in this time. But specifically, I would say like violet flame energies, however you resonate with that, and higher perspective, or any sort of pink loving energy as well. So you could and this can be done at any given moment, like in the now moment, like as it's happening. Like, let me take a breath, let me just, you know, you can call upon again those energies, or you could just open your heart chakra, or just step back and be like, what's really happening right now? What can I do? What can I not do? And how do I allow this moment to be what it is without trying to interfere too much? So I hope this reading was helpful. Please let me know what you think. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, or if at least it resonated. I mean, you don't necessarily have to, if this was a heavier one, but if it resonates now or in the future, please consider liking, commenting, and if you're interested, I do personal readings. You can go ahead and look in the description and send me an email if you're interested in one of those. But I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Hi Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. If you chose, I forget how to pronounce it. It starts with an F though. this crystal here. I'll just leave that to the side, and I'm gonna go ahead and draw. I didn't look at this card. I like fresh. This is all about fresh dragon energy. So there's a lot of movement, a lot of transformation going on, a lot of stepping into power. We're just gonna see which dragon energy is around you now. You know, how this dragon or dragons are helping you at this time, what messages they may have. Okay, so we have I know. I hear someone saying like they're all out. Just use all of them. Okay. So the first one is Earth and Fire energy works with you to clear the 5th dimensional ley lines. It's time for service. When you give, you receive. This just feels like a dragon that's helping you clear old thought patterns, but also connecting you with nature. The word gnomes comes to mind. You might be particularly connected with, again, elementals, the middle world, if those terms, resonate with you. That's why there's also a lot of green crystals here. So, and I don't think it's a coincidence that you chose this. I call it like the fairy stone. So kind of like that light-hearted energy and kind of resting within that space of, sitting with the earth and allowing that energy to come through you and wash away just old thought patterns, old ways of being that don't serve you this time. We also have the emerald dragon, so that's, very interesting considering I just mentioned, there's a lot of elemental energy here, more specifically like fairy. We have the blooming here going on, sense of transformation, but really connected to the earth at this time, more so than the other two piles for sure. This is about recognizing the beauty of the world and allowing the healing power of just being outside to be there for you, to know that it's always there. There's always like a bush somewhere, there's somewhere you can go where you can breathe and be and reconnect with yourself. And then this is all about, it says healing, brings in healing and cosmic abundance, but it's also a dragon of Archangel Raphael. So if you connect with him or feel the need to call upon him, it's just an indication of that. That healing's being done right now to you, and the best place to kind of like amplify, accelerate that healing is no other place than nature, and then we have the Earth and Air Dragon. I've never seen this card before. Represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Very interesting. Stay balanced, ground your visions, manifest your hopes and dreams. So lots of earth energy. This is very earth-centric. And yeah, it's like earth fire, earth air, but a strong sense of grounding. And then we see the trees too, lots of trees, so they might be helpful to just sit under a tree. We see the roots here as well, so being rooted in the earth, but there might just be a lot going on where you need to sit still. We'll notice that this dragon is looking at bubbles or something. I don't know if you can see that. So that kind of reminds me of fairies as well, like just noticing little things. And taking the time to notice those things too could provide perspective for you. So this is going to be a little different from the other two piles. I'm just going to do a row of what's going on in general. The healing is because of some sort of broken heart. Maybe in the past, maybe currently, but it's intense. This is pretty graphic when it comes to that. Then we have the Chariot, indicating a sense of movement. This one's very connected to the ocean, which is funny considering how none of these dragons are water. A sense of movement here going on in the background. It's like before you could move, there needs to be some time to heal this right here. And you have a lot of support when it comes to healing, not only within the dragon realm, but just like in physical 3D reality, just the earth. Like you might have that ability to just go to a park, you know. It's there for you to heal and take that time. And then with the earth energy here, this has a lot to do with growing something, like making this dream of working, doing something you really want to do and being abundant into reality. But it takes that seed, like it's got to start somewhere. All these dragons are facing that way, and this bottom row is facing that way, so there's like it's like the dragons are saying to look to the past a little bit, kind of reflect, instead of trying to run away from what might have happened, because there is the answer to how to move forward. Like you're going after something that makes you really happy. I mean, that's your goal. That's what you want to do. And you're willing to do it. As soon as you're balanced, and as soon as, you know, your subconscious and conscious self are working together, it'll be easier to move. And I feel like that's what's going on here. It's like balancing the subconscious and conscious self so that you could go on to this next phase that you really want to go, you know, move on with your life. If you've been feeling stuck, considering all of this earth energy, I wouldn't be surprised if you felt fairly stuck for a while, and that's because you've been healing here, but you have the energy of movement. And with the earth and air dragons, like, they want you to move, but they want you to also be safe and not repeat any kind of mistakes that might have come up in the past, or not necessarily repeat, but also yeah, just navigate around that potential. Or I should say, you have like this gravitational pull to you. Magnetic, that's what I meant. So just whatever you bring to you is coming to serve your best good. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're wounded, then you're gonna bring in other people who are wounded, and that could resonate as like relationship, friends, or work as well. Like just an unhealthy work environment might manifest for you, even though you're trying to move away from it, just because you're not fully healed, you're not fully in the vibration you know you can be in when you know, thought up this idea of, you know, the perfect life for you that you deserve, really. Being free, being close to the earth, being connected to nature, and you want to move towards that without having to sacrifice too much time, energy, or anything in general, and you want to move towards it, and it's meant to be easy to get to, but it's all about being in the right place, spiritually and emotionally. And I feel like that's just what these dragons are guiding you to do, is to take the time to heal in nature. Especially for this, because you want this badly. You want this 10 of Cups badly, and you want to share the feeling of joy. Then we have the 6 of Pentacles, give and take. So I feel like for some of you, this might have had to do with work. Like, you've been giving too much and it's hurting you, and now you're like, okay, I need to put some of that into myself and invest in me, because you'll notice that this is usually supposed to be balanced, but it's not at all. Like, one hand is giving all the coins to another, and you know, it's one-sided. That could also be an indication of a past relationship or even a friendship where one person was giving everything, probably you, because you have this energy. So it's like you were giving everything into a situation, a person. This depends, because this is a general reading. But you're giving everything and weren't getting it in return. And we have the moon here as well. So it's like you want to move away. We'll put this like this. See the moon for both of these? So you want to move away from that shadowy energy of deceit, of imbalance. This is a card of being imbalanced, which is funny because it's Libra, but you know, imbalance here, and that's just, you want to really get what you deserve, and you deserve better than what that was. But again, a lot of this, and I like this, I got very distracted just now. This is green opal. It might be helpful, I don't know, it reminds me of a dragon. And maybe green crystals at this time might be fairly helpful. Especially if you're outside, but really just sitting and feeling the breeze and acknowledging that this was painful, even if you've forgotten about it. Just to acknowledge that so you could heal from it, and to sit and take the time to do that. It's kind of like a self-investment, but instead of with money, it's like allowing a version of you to grow that is stronger, and that takes time and patience. With I didn't even say what card this was. This is the 7 of Pentacles, and then we have the High Priestess. She's just waiting patiently. She knows what's going on. She's aware of the cycles. And so there's almost the sense of knowing that you're gonna get what you deserve, but it's taking time. And that's why, like, again, emphasis on being patient, emphasis on knowing what's coming. Every single reading I've done for this dragon reading has to do with the moon, so we're all connected to the moon right now, and its phases and its mysteries, moving from, you know, what's hurt us, and using that energy and wisdom to navigate where we go to the future, and being really intuitive, just going freely, like with the waters here, and not being afraid of that pain, because that's kind of where wisdom comes from. It's like we don't make those mistakes again. Let's see what oracles we have. Oh. If I had known there was going to be so many moons, I would have brought the moonstone sphere. I had no idea. I'm going to go outside after this reading and look at the moon. You might want to do the same. Just look up at night. Notice the changes that the moon's going through, you know, at any given time. And what may seem chaotic to you regarding, you know, moving pieces and phases is just fairly regular to the moon, you know. Discernment, comparisons. This feels directly tied to this for several reasons. First, it's a 3, and then we have it's 33. So the 3 of Swords. And then this feels like Libra, and then we have Swords again. So this is probably the central theme. Recognizing lies, recognizing a lack of truth within others, but within yourself too, like standing your ground. This has to do with the High Priestess as well, where it's like being aware of your own intuition and where it's guiding you, and how other people are trying to, you know, be unfair. And that takes strength, but also a belief in yourself and where you naturally feel like going. And you can connect with this discernment. You can connect with realizing truth and standing in that power once you take the time to be outside and connect with yourself. Because the more time you spend with yourself and you're intimate with yourself, then you know, like, this is how I should always feel, and everything outside of that is not who I am. And the more you align with this energy, the stronger you'll become, and the less abuse you'll take from people, situations, circumstances that don't serve you, and you'll be more aware of what that is. So I hope this reading was helpful. Please let me know in the comments. Give a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and if you like a personal reading, I have the information for that in the description. Alright, take care.